Hi, welcome, welcome, welcome. I have gotten plenty of questions about how do you create a budget? How do you what exactly does it entail and how do you do it? And honestly, guys, a budget is simply a plan to tell your money where to go and not wonder where it went. It's nothing extravagant. It's nothing that is restrictive. I think a lot of people think of budgeting and they're like, oh my goodness, I got to do this for how long? It's not restrictive. It's a plan and you should be doing it all the time. Okay. So I'm going to tell you guys, number one, how to create your own budget. And then I'm going to share with you how I create budgets for my clients. Okay. So the first thing I want to share is how to create your own budget. So the first thing that I want you guys to do is check out this website and get your free budget immediately. So this website is jenniferfinesse.com. On the first page, once you get past meeting the coach, meet the process, all the different places I've been featured, you go right here. There's actually three books available for you. So, depending upon what you want to do, or what you want to focus on right now, there's always going to be three books. These change periodically, but there's always going to be three books. So the three that are available right now is this one, Finesse Your Budget. Then there's this one, Finesse Your Niche. So this is for small business owners that want to really just capitalize on who your target market is. And then this last one is Finesse Your Time Management. So that's for anybody. We need systems in order to manage our time successfully. So the one that I'm going to discuss today is this one. So take a look at this one. It is Finesse My Budget. It says, don't allow this virus to kill your finances. Employ these simple strategies to maintain and improve your household budget immediately. So just click here, download, and you just simply put in your contact information, your email, your name, your phone number, and then get access to the budget. The budget is here. So again, it's simple. This is a simple guide, okay? And so it is 14 pages long. In the first, it just talks about a budget. So it talks about it's just simply a plan to tell your money where to go instead of wondering where it went. So you can read that part, but here's the five simple steps right here. The first one is to create a weekly spending journal. So this just tells you where exactly is my money going. Not saying that you're doing anything differently for that one week that you're using the spending journal, but just jotting down everything. Oh, I went to the store. I went to the Goodwill. I'm just telling y'all what I do. I went to the Goodwill. I found some hiking boots. Bam, $16. Okay. I went to Chick-fil-A and got lunch. Okay, $32. Yeah, Chick-fil-A is expensive. Okay, $32. What else did I do this past weekend? Oh, I went to another thrift store. I went to Plato's Closet and spent $48. Just writing all these things down because these are the things that I like to do. And in my budget, I want to budget for these things. I don't want to leave anything out. So if I'm doing these things regularly and I'm expected to continue to do these things, I want to be able to write them down on my budget so that I have the resources to continue to do them. Okay, so then the next thing is listing all of your monthly expenses. Then you're going to list all of your outstanding debt. So the difference between the expenses and the debt is expenses are things that you know you got to pay every single month. Debt may be those long-term obligations that you have that you don't necessarily pay every month. So it could be an old collection account. It could actually be a student loan bill. It could even be your mortgage, right? If you want to pay down your mortgage faster and look at that amortization schedule, list all those things here. Or if your credit card balance is $3,000 and you know you only pay $600 a month, put the total balance of all the debt on this particular one. Next is listing all of your income. And then lastly, we look at calculating your surplus and or deficit. Hopefully you have a surplus, but if not, we'll get you there. Okay, so here is that daily spending journal. And so I just gave you a few examples of what things can go on there and what that looks like. That's number one. Number two, is your actual expenses. So if you see here, we kind of categorize them: personal expenses, housing costs, transportation costs, food expenses, and then we left some space if there's additional things. So keep in mind that anything that you normally do. I have clients with habits. I have clients that gamble. I have clients who go to bingo. I have clients who, smoke, drink, whatever, cigarettes, beer, wine, weed, whatever they do. Put it on there. We're not saying that you need to stop any of those things. All we're saying is we need to account for every dime that you're spending on those things. Okay. So this is the place to do that. Number three is actually, oh, I didn't want to skip that too quickly, but this is about cash flow. So it just kind of gives you a breakdown of what that is, and it's all a matter of timing. Okay, so then next, this is where you list your outstanding debt. So if you have a Capital One card and the balance is, I don't know, $4,000, and you pay your monthly payment, maybe you pay more than a minimum, but you only pay $500 or $600 a month. So you put that here because we can build this into your budget. We can build in a plan to eliminate your debt as well as paying off your monthly expenses. So this is the place for that. And we separate those for a couple major reasons, and we can talk about that another time. And then number four is where you list all of your income. Now listen, guys, let me pause because I want you to really understand this. When you are listing your income, I don't just want you to put down the money that you get from your job. When you know that you get other money monthly, and it could be any unearned income. So if you're receiving any type of support, if you're receiving any type of benefits, if you have, a sugar daddy that gives you money every month, whatever that looks like for you is income. It doesn't matter if it's earned income or unearned income. It should actually go here. So anything that you use toward paying a bill or an expense every month should be on this list. And that even includes things like if you have a parent that pays your cell phone bill every month, or if you have a parent that pays an electric bill or any type of utility bill, put in that as income, whatever amount they're paying, right? That's so income. And we got to kind of start retraining our mind and changing our mindset to identify those things as what they are, which is income. Okay. So it's just unearned income. And then lastly, what you're going to do is you're going to take those total amounts from your income, from your expenses, and you're going to subtract them and get a number. And that would be that balance. So if your income exceeds your expenses, then you're living in a surplus. And if you're living in a surplus, you're supposed to do a dance like, hey, I'm surplusing, I'm surplusing, I'm surplusing. And if your expenses exceed your income, then you're living in a deficit. Now, you can still dance, right? You can say, I'm living in a deficit. I'm living in a deficit. I'm living in a deficit. Because guess what? We can fix that deficit. So we fix that deficit a few ways, right? So one of the ways you can fix the deficit is you can increase your income, whether that's earned or unearned, or you can decrease your expenses. Those are the two ways to decrease or eliminate that deficit. And we're going to talk about some of those ways in just a moment. But that is the book in and of itself. That is the Finesse My Budget book. I leave you with some tips and tricks. And then also, if you'd like, you could join one of our master classes or get a customized solution. But if you want to do it yourself, boom, that's it. It's just that simple. And you can even ask questions if you want. I'm always available for you to ask questions. So that's that. That's the budget. So now at this point, I'm going to show you what I do for my clients. Okay. So what I do for my clients, the first thing that I do is I tell them, I need you to send me your transactions from your bank account for the last 3 months. Some clients are like, what? Uh, yep. In order for us to work together, you have to be vulnerable, you have to be transparent, and I have to see what you're spending money on. I can't help you if I only see what you tell me. I need to see it with my own eyes. So I need to see all of your transactions. So what I do, once I get my clients' transactions, I go through and I categorize them. So I put in another another column here, and make that a category. And then I go through and I categorize all the expenses that they send me. Okay. And then I go through and I may qualify them and sort them so that I see what I need to see. Okay. So as you can see, I said, okay, the top ones are the account maintenance fees, ATM withdrawals. They did a lot of entertainment. Okay. Because this was for the month of December. So, we do a lot of, they have all those different sales. So we just always buying and buying, buying. But I can see that she's spending wisely because she used cheap tickets. But anyways, entertainment. So she has a whole entertainment category, food and dining, um, gas and fuel. Here's all her income that she had coming in, and then regular monthly expenses, right? Personal care, her savings, her shopping. Who she was shopping. Okay. We all be shopping in December, right? Because that's the time that we give away gifts and all kinds of stuff. So she did a lot of shopping in December. So I go through, I categorize all the things that happen in her checking account. And I do that for a reason. The main reason is so that she could see where her money's going to. So after I categorize all those things, I put it into a nice, lovely presentation that I present to my clients. And I show her, oh, okay, 64% of your money went to monthly expenses. And I categorize those as monthly expenses. And 16% was shopping in December. Okay. That's what people do in December. No, actually, this was November transactions. Okay. And then you have other things that you were spending money on. Check this out. Check how in December that changed. Where that 64% was going to monthly expenses, ooh, it went down to 41%. So what's going on? Did you not pay some of your bills in November? Or did we miscategorize? Did we do some things that we shouldn't have done? Whatever that is, it is a red flag, right? It's an alert to make you say, okay, something's different here, right? That the shopping was still at 16%. Baby girl love to shop. Okay. She's gonna keep her shopping up. But her monthly expenses went down. So there's a reason for that. And we need to figure out what that is. And as you can see, her shopping and entertainment, look at that. Entertainment went up. She was big time entertaining in December because, again, that's the time you see a lot of people, you do a lot of things. So we try to identify where your money is going before we even create a budget. So that's our second meeting. The second meeting is, okay, girl, I looked at your expenses, I looked at your budget sheet that you sent me, and they don't really line up. And here's the discrepancies. And then here's where your money is going. So right after that, what we do is we look at all the things that she listed as expenses. And then I go through and I highlight them and say, we can possibly decrease these, right? So if you look here, her monthly expenses, this was for, um, I think this was for December and this for November. I don't remember off the top of my head. But anyways, it was $13,523. That's a lot of money coming out, regardless of how much you coming in, how much money you have coming in. That's a lot of money going out. And then for November, it was $11,346. Okay. So here's all of her income. And I just kind of list that out because I asked, okay, where are you getting money from? She gets paid from her job. She has rental income. She has a business. She receives support, and she has another little part-time job that she does. She teaches some classes every now and then she has some investments. So her income is $17,000, whereas her expenses are, an average of 12,000. So just a quick question for you guys: is she living in a deficit or is she living in a surplus? Based on that calculation that we did a couple minutes ago, your income minus your expenses equals a balance. If the balance is positive, you're living in a deficit. I'm sorry, you're living in the surplus. If the balance is negative, you're living in a deficit. Where is she living at? What type of dance should she be doing? She's definitely living in the surplus. So she should be like, I'm living in the surplus, 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 surplus. I'm living in the surplus. Okay. Not like I'm living in a deficit, 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 deficit. Okay. So she's dancing, she's singing, and she's happy because she's living in the surplus. But guess what? Based on what I was able to highlight, she could be living even more in the surplus, right? Because some of these bills we can kind of decrease, like this T-Mobile, cable bill. Who pays cable in 2021? Come on now, get you a fire stick and stop playing, all right? So decreasing some of these bills can have her even more in a surplus. So now let's look at the actual budget. So as you can see, these are all of the bills, okay? And so after we get finished putting all the bills in here, the total amount that she agreed to is $9,287. Woo-wee! That means she is even more surplus. So we were able to decrease some bills along the way. And here's how we do that. We look at, here's the job paid number one, here's where her support comes in. And so for each of these weeks or each of these payments, we use those to create those budgets. So out of this, she pays $100 for her tithes. She pays 210 out of this check, 170 out of this check, so that it all gets done, but it gets done sporadically. What makes sense to her, which that way on the first of the month, she's not completely broke, right? Because she gets this particular payment, but she has all these bills coming out. But if she successfully plans for those things, oh my goodness, that's how she gets to where she wants to be. So that's the process that I use to help my clients to create successful budgets. Like I said, you can do it yourself. You can download that free budget guide from jenniferfinesse.com, or you can get with us and we can help you to create a successful budget like this where you're not feeling overwhelmed every time you get paid. We help you to kind of either increase your income or decrease your expenses, but also put them in such a manner where you feel comfortable with receiving your paycheck and knowing these are the 3 or 4 things that I have to do this particular paycheck. The next paycheck, I do these particular things, and you don't feel so overwhelmed. Again, a budget is simply a plan to tell your money where to go instead of wondering where it went. And when you have a successful budget, you can do all kinds of things. You can purchase homes, you can invest your money, you can increase your credit, you can decrease your interest rates. You can do tons of things when you have a successful budget, but it starts with having a successful budget. So, if you need assistance, let us know. If you want to download that budget and do it yourself, we would love for you to do that too. Just go to jenniferfinesse.com and download that budget guide. Otherwise, we hope to hear from you. We hope to these tips help you. And if they do, let us know. All right. You have a super duper awesome day or night or whenever you're actually listening to this replay. But I'm excited to be able to help you and see you finesse your fiscal future by having a successful budget. All right.